You guys are now all in the back of that front paddy wagon, and the second paddy wagon has Raka's griffin. The third one has all of the materials and stuff that they took from you, among some other things. So you guys are currently making your way through a narrow valley that is on the way to Dragon Steel Quarry, where you assume they're going to bring you to perform hard labor until you die. And also, there's 2 camels back there, too, with Arch's stuff.
Hell yeah.
I want everybody who's in the paddy wagon to please roll
Wait,
perception.
what about my donkey?
The donkey was unfortunately slaughtered. So, alright, so that's a 15.
Oh, for me, it's a 13.
Alright, so for you it's a 13, and then Cham, what did you roll?
12.
12, okay, and then... So you guys are in there, so you guys all rolled your perceptions before, so Vash, you rolled the highest perception, so on the hilltop you start to notice that, kind of see the silhouette of the mountains, because it's getting dark at this point, so it's getting a little bit harder to see. But on the top of those mountains, you see that there appears to be smaller shadows that are moving around, and you're not really sure what it is.
Guys, I think there's something up ahead. I don't know what it is.
I got a 20.
Oh, you got a 20. Okay, you got a 20, so yes, you do notice as well. And you also notice that they appear to also be holding weapons, what you can identify as maybe the silhouette of a bow.
It seems like we're going to an execution, so this should be tons of fun for everyone.
I want to roll, see if I can find the people, driving us.
Well, you can just do a quick spot check if you wanna look around and see how many of them you can see.
17 plus 1, that's an 18.
So you look around you, and basically each one of the paddy wagons, all 3 of them seem to have 1 driver, and then there are 2 guards flanking on either side of each one. So in total, you have 15 guards between all 3 paddy wagons.
Are we chained up?
Your hands are chained, yes, and your feet. You're basically kind of like, think about at the beginning of like Skyrim when you're on like the prison wagon.
Uhtred looks at Cham with a dead blank face, begins to tell him the story of Skyrim.
Are we able to break these chains?
They're made out of chains and like shackles and stuff like that. It's one of those situations where like if you had to break out of it, your character I don't think has the strength to do that. But the other thing is when you looked up there, it looked like they were sneaking around. It didn't look like there were people that were marching along with you, because they're kind of like slowly running from cover to cover.
Oh, there's only one guy, you said, driving us.
Yes, there's only 1 driver for that particular paddy wagon. There's 3 drivers in total, 1 for each.
How far, what's the distance between me and the driver?
Well, the driver is blocked, basically. Like, you can't reach up there because there's basically like a solid wood plank wall, but he's on the opposite side of those wood planks.
Do I know if he took the dagger from my mouth?
Then that would have meant they would have searched better, but they only got a 2, so they did not find the dagger that was inside of your mouth. Right, I understand what you're talking about, but you're going to try and use a metal knife to break a metal chain. But because of what you're trying to do, that's going to be a strength roll instead of a dexterity roll.
I was gonna scooch up next to him, because it's pretty obvious when somebody's fiddling with their chains and shit, since we're all chained together. Listen here, Frogman, I think there's someone coming, and they might be ready to kill us. So, whatever you're doing, let me know, and perhaps I can help.
I'm gonna whisper into his ear what I'm doing.
Okay, so you relay that information to him, so Arch, you're aware that he's going to try and break the chains that are holding his hands with the knife that he has in his mouth.
I am going to very, very quietly try and cast Bull Strength on him so he gets a +4 to his strength. Lightly tap him on the foot so he gets his boost.
Cham, that means you're going to get a +4 to your current strength, so your modifier is going to go up by at least 2.
Okay, so that's a 21 in strength now.
Okay, so that means you have a 5 modifier for that, so that's what partially you're going to be rolling. So yeah, so it's going to be you're going to use your strength instead of your dex for that, so you can roll to attack your chains.
So I just rolled a 17 plus 5. That is a 22.
You spit your knife out using your tongue, and it flies forward directly at the chains. It actually lodges itself in between 2 links of the chain. So it cuts into the link, but not all the way through, and it gets stuck in it. There's a lot of rustling going on, so one of the guards that's on your side of the paddy wagon kind of goes up and bangs on the side of it a little bit.
Hey, keep it down in there. No talking. You guys are going to hard labor.
And as he begins saying that, an arrow shoots down from above, pierces his neck, and he begins to gurgle as he falls to the ground. The remaining Dragonborn begin to scatter as a fair amount of arrows begin raining down in the area. However, they all appear to be staying clear of the actual paddy wagons. They're not shooting at you, they're just shooting at the Dragonborn around you.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. What?
He's just gurgling. He's dying very painfully.
Speak up, mate.
Did this guy have a key on him?
You can roll a spot check to see if you can spy that if he has one on him. There are guys that do have keys, but whether or not he was one is something you're going to
I rolled a 15 for that.
21.
Okay, he rolled a 21, so you guys both notice that you see a shiny silver key hanging off of his belt. However, you're going to need to be able to grab it somehow. But your tongue could possibly work because that has a decent amount of distance to it. So all you're going to have to do is roll dexterity to snag it off his belt.
24. I rolled a 19 plus 5.
You shoot your tongue out and wrap it around the silver key, and then pull it right back off of his belt and inside of the paddy wagon. So you now have a key so you can unlock your cuffs, and they should also go to everybody else's. Sham, as you're freeing the others after you've freed yourself from being locked up, you see that the arrows, again, still keep raining down, and many of the Dragonborn have fallen dead. There's only a few that appear to be still alive, and many of them, the ones that are still alive, have several arrows in them. The archers that are up on the hill seem to be extremely accurate, but they also don't appear to have any interest in you.
Ribbit.
So that key also goes to the back of the padlock that is on the back of the paddy wagon, so you can use it to unlock it.
And I do.
Okay, you unlock the back of the paddy wagon and open it up. Now everybody in the paddy wagon is freed, and the last of the Dragonborn, as you're walking out, gets riddled with 3 arrows to the chest and falls down dead on the ground. As this happens, the archers that were up on the cliffside, descend down towards the paddy wagons. They all appear to be cloaked. The lead one is holding a sword and has the bow and arrows on her back. And the other ones appear to be kind of running through with arrows drawn, looking for any survivors. Vash, Ling Ling is very scared. She requires your cuddling.
It's not Ling Ling, it's Guma. So I'll try to pet him just to comfort him.
He's thankful for it and clings onto your leg. Arch, what are you doing?
I was going to step forward and introduce myself because this person seems to have saved us.
Okay, you step forward to the archer who has the hood on. She removes the hood and reveals that it's Lorna Vindikar, the guard captain that was supposedly at the last stand of the Nexus Castle. You don't know how she got here.
Are you here to bring me my coffee?
She looks at you in shock for a second, dumbfounded at the question, then says, I'm sorry. I just rescued you from a Dragonborn prison convoy that was going to take you off to hard labor, and that's the first question you asked me.
Well, did you bring us coffee?
No, I brought you freedom.
I like freedom.
At least somebody's grateful. So basically, all the other archers that were up on the hill were also members of the original Nexus Brigade that was defending the castle. And what happened is as the siege was going on, when the Dragonborn finally breached into the courtyard and wound up storming the castle, Lorna explains that her and some of her most skilled archers went around inside the castle through another secret tunnel, and they actually managed to go down and swim their way out of the Nexus using the cover of darkness. However, you didn't actually run into them during your whole excursion when you guys were trying to escape. So they actually managed to get to shore after a while. They did manage to pick up some driftwood and get there, but they couldn't find any of you guys until they found out what happened to you at the northern gate, and they then tracked to the prison convoy and proceeded to stalk them until night, when they could eliminate them relatively easily without revealing themselves.
I'm going to go up to her. I'm going to explain everything that happened with the princess and how we lost contact and sight of where she's going.
She leans down to you and puts her hand on your shoulder and says that you did everything that you could. And she said that you shouldn't be ashamed of yourself for losing her. She also relays that message to everybody else. But she also says that there are networks of people that she's able to get in contact with now that might be able to find out where they took the princess. But as of right now, you guys need to get to safety. And she knows of a place that's not too far. It's on the other side of Dragon Steel Quarry, and it's called the Zorn Oasis.
So while she's explaining that, I'm going to go to the very last fucking cart. I'm going to get our shit.
Yep, you unlock that cart. Are you also going to unlock the cart that has Raka's Griffin in it?
Yes.
Right, you're free. Go.
The griffin comes out and walks up to Raka. It nuzzles up to him for a second and then licks his face.
Raka giggles like a child.
And then you unlock that, so everybody, you all get you don't lose any of your weapons. You get all your weapons and stuff back. They shoved all that in the back cart because they figured they could probably just sell it off afterwards anyway. So you guys have your equipment back and your various animals and pets. Arch, you also got two of your undead camels back.
Hell yes.
Basically, Lorna then says that you guys should probably get back on one of those wagons, and then they can ride those horses and get the hell out of there so you guys can go get to the oasis. The other 4 archers that were with her also then break off because apparently they're part of a guerrilla group that's trying to fight back against the Black Scales, the Dragonborn. So basically, yeah. So they run back up into the hills, and I guess they have like a secret little base over there. But Lorna is going to come with you guys as one of your personal guard. Lorna hops on the front paddy wagon as you guys climb on the other side, and you guys are off. So now what we're going to do is you're going to have a bit of travel time. So we're going to say that you guys are going to run into a little side quest action going on. Basically, what happens is you guys, because the Zorn Oasis is kind of close to the shore, you guys are riding the shoreline to get there because it's the easiest path to take. It's also the flattest because a lot of the other area is horrible desert, so at least you're near some kind of a water source because they do have some oases and stuff in the western part of the fire sand wastes. So as you guys are going along, you notice that it appears that there's a lot of driftwood and stuff that's kind of floating up on the beach. It's getting washed in, almost like it's from a shipwreck. All right, so I want everybody to roll a spot check or a listen check, whichever one they prefer, and see if you notice anything odd about the driftwood.
I rolled this. I got a modified 6.
What did you roll, Cham?
10.
Vash, do you want to roll?
Sure.
All right, so 16. So that means that Arch rolled the highest again, followed by Vash. Or actually, you rolled the same. You both rolled 16s. So you guys go up to the edge because, Arch, are you rolling a spot or a listen?
That was a listen check.
Okay, so you both rolled listen checks. So both of you hear what sounds like moaning coming from down on the beach, like painful moaning.
Ooh,
everybody else is just kind of oblivious.
I follow the angry beaver.
Okay, Vash, since you heard this, you're going to go down and investigate with Arch, I assume. He's dragging your ass along.
Oh, let's go.
There's moaning, gay man. I need your expertise here.
Oh, you picked the right person.
Arch, you take Vash's hand and you lead him down the hill. The panda is following very closely behind you, and then Cham and Kane and Lorna are all going to follow behind you as well. And Rock, are you going to go down too?
Yep.
Okay. You guys all go down, and as you reach the bottom of the beach, you see that it appears that there's a man mixed in with a lot of the driftwood. He looks to be wearing somewhat of a sailor's outfit, but it's been shredded pretty much, and he appears to be in and out of consciousness. He's kind of just rolling around.
Does he have any obvious wounds or anything?
He looks to have a lot of cuts and bruises and stuff like that all over him. He looks like he's been battered a good amount, but he doesn't look like he's still in one piece physically.
I'm gonna walk up and gently tap him in the head with my foot so as to not touch him as much as possible.
Roll dexterity if you're trying to do it daintily. All right, so you got a 9. So you poke him a little bit, but you also poke him in the eye.
I'm okay with that.
So as soon as that happens, he immediately grabs at his face and rolls over. He goes, oh, God, my eye. Oh, God, and everything else. It all hurts. All of it. So he then rolls around and he kind of looks up and he sees everybody that's staring around him, and the panda goes up and starts licking him in the face.
Oh, don't do that. You don't know where it's been.
He gets up and looks around and looks at both himself and the driftwood that's washed up on shore, and he goes, oh my God, they're all dead. I'm the last one. There's nobody else alive. They're all gone.
Good for you.
God damn it. We had treasure on that ship. Lots of it. Jewels. Gold. It's all gone.
And good riddance. You need to rid yourself of worthy possessions, my good man.
Now. I recognize a plot hook when I see one. Tell us where you went down.
It wasn't too far offshore, but the thing that you got to remember is that it wasn't just the sea that took us. It was another thing. It was these little creatures that came out of the water. They started grabbing at the jewels and the gold and trying to leave with it. So we stopped them, but there were so many. They just kept coming and coming and coming until there wasn't enough. And They tore down the sails, they ripped off the ropes, we lost the main mast, and then the ship capsized in a storm.
Is it a giant crab with treasure on his back, singing how he's shiny?
No, it looked more like a...
Pirate with tentacles growing out of his face?
No, it looked like your little friend there, except it had a mohawk and sharper teeth.
What, you talking about the frog?
Yeah.
Which frog?
Yeah,
I'm
what's
talking about the
wrong,
frog.
asshole?
Yeah, which one? The fat one or the skinny one?
They both look pretty fat, if you ask me.
He's specifically pointing at Cham because Kane's kind of in the background, because Cham is the one that's like right near him. It looked like you, but it had a mohawk and
Fucking jackass.
sharp teeth.
Can I roll nature? See if I know what he's talking about.
So Cham, you can roll nature and see if you can identify what the creature is.
Oh, you're gonna hate me.
What did you get a nat 20?
Yeah.
All right, so you roll the nat 20 and then plus whatever. You're able to identify that the creatures seem to be something that you remember being called a murloc. You're able to discern what the creature is, and based on your knowledge of the creature, because you rolled a nat 20, murlocs have a nasty habit of going after shiny objects, especially objects kind of like jewels or gold or, glass. Anything that kind of looks shiny, they have a weird attraction to. You also know that in a lot of cases, they have their nests on the shoreline, and they build them in usually underwater caverns and things like that to try and keep their eggs and everything safe, because they breed very similarly to you, like, with egg clusters. So now you know about that, but the thing is that based on where this shipwreck is and based on the close proximity to the shoreline, you're probably fairly close to the nest.
I'm gonna relay that in amphibian.
Just to Kane then, because I think he's the only other person that knows amphibian. Okay, so everybody else just kind of looks at you. But Kane understands everything that you just said. So, Kane, what are you going to do with that information?
I was also going to tell the rest, and so I say is this, Murlocs.
Okay, so everybody now understands the situation. You relay your extensive knowledge of Murlocs, which you basically just pulled out of your ass, but it is correct. You then say that the nest is probably in this area, so, 2 plus 2 put together is the Murlocs probably have some of that treasure.
Okay, and I'm gonna roll for gather information. See if I can find out a general direction.
Okay, Kane, do you want to do that as well? Because this would be your wheelhouse as well.
What will I need to roll?
You're going to need to roll gather information.
Well,
did you roll a 20 again? Cham, because you rolled a nat 20, you're able to see that it appears further down the beach there are Murloc tracks that are along the beach, as well as what you can find is a few spare gold pieces leading off in the direction further down where it appears there's kind of like a seaside cliff face going on, and it looks like a fairly good area where they may have gone into the water.
okay. I lead them to the supposed area that I know of.
You lead them all to this area where these Murloc tracks disappear into the water, and you also picked up 10 gold along the way, so as you're going, you pick up 10 gold pieces. Now everybody is there, so again, you mentioned before that Murlocs have usually build their nests in underwater caves.
I'm gonna jump in.
Alright, you jump in. Kane, I assume you're doing the same?
Yep.
Alright, so the 2 frog boys jump in the water.
I'm going to shit out my tongue and grab the gay dude.
Teenage Mutant Frog Boys. Go fuck yourself. Don't grab me.
I'm going to shoot my tongue out, wrap it around him, I'm going to pull him into the water.
Here's the thing. He's going to be able to resist that grapple check on your tongue. Yeah, so Vash, you're going to have to roll to resist it if he's actually going to do this. But it's going to be your grapple over his. All right, so Vash, he shoots his tongue out and it latches on to your wrist. So no, that is not enough. You're then jolted right down into the water along with Cham, and you are right next to him. Panda is sitting on the beach, and he's just kind of sitting there with his head cocked to the side. He's not really sure what just happened. All right, so you guys are both in the water. So Arch, what are you going to do in regards to getting them down there? Didn't you say you were going to do something?
Oh, once they find the cave.
I'm going to dive down with Kane.
Vash, what are you rolling the 18 for?
Oh, that was for if his constitution for breathing on water.
Well, I'm going to actually count that as your constitution for breathing underwater now, which means you're going to successfully be able to hold your breath for about 3 to 4 minutes.
Okay.
I'm going to just dive down and try to find the cave.
Kane, are you going to help him with that?
Sure, why not?
And Vash, since you're in the water, do you want to dive it down with them, or are you just going to tread water?
Tread water.
You're just having the time. This is actually relaxing for you because you get to take a nice swim in the ocean. Woo! Ling Ling swim, I keep calling him Ling Ling. Swims out to you and kind of does the little panda doggy paddle. It's very adorable.
That's right, Kuma. That's right. Just paddle your little paws.
All right, so Kane, you rolled a 21, and then Cham, what did you roll?
I rolled a 3.
Kane, as you're swimming through, you notice there appears to be a chasm or an opening just under the water line along the cliff face.
Can I talk underwater?
Yeah, we can. We have
Yeah, you guys can.
I found it.
All right, then I'm going to follow him.
You guys both swim up and into the tunnel, and as you swim inside, you see that the cave goes up a little bit, and it looks like it goes up into a chamber that has an air pocket in it, because you can see the surface of the water, but you don't see sunlight. You swim up to the water surface. Now, do you want to just burst out, or do you want to do this stealthily?
Stealth. I'm just going to like, you know how a gator like goes up the water with his eyes above.
Okay, Kane, are you going to do the same thing?
Yeah, sure.
Plus mine, that's a 26.
Kane also rolled a 26. So you guys both peek your eyes up out of the water, just barely even tell unless somebody was looking in your direction. You see what appears to be about half a dozen murlocs. There are a few of them that are kind of over these little egg clusters. And then there's also a few other ones. And in the center of the room, on top of a little rock face that's above water, you see a pile of gold and jewels that it was most likely from the shipwreck.
I'm gonna look at Kermit like just speaking aquatic, like near him. Like, should we get the rest, or you think we could take them?
I'd rather go grab everyone. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
All right, I'm gonna keep an eye out. I'm gonna send your ass over.
Sorry, bet.
Kane, so you're gonna swim back. I'm not gonna make you do a swim check or anything. So you swim back out of the cave, and you swim back up to the surface, and you pop up like right next to where Vash is kind of just lying on his back, floating in the water. And Vash, I'm gonna have you roll to see if you get startled. You do not get startled. Instead, as soon as he pokes his hand out of the water, you actually have a knee-jerk reaction and smack him in the face.
Damn frog.
It doesn't hurt him. It's not enough to hurt him, but it's enough to like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, piece of shit. By the way, we need everyone's help. So get everybody else and come down here.
Everybody else is on the shoreline, by the way. They can hear you.
Oh. All right, everybody. Let's go.
So, Art, what are you going to do now that you know?
She's going to drop a control water, which is going to drop the water level by 70 feet.
What area, roughly?
Well, wherever the frog points to as the entrance of the cave.
Kane, you point out where the front of the cave is, and Art, since you're using that spell, it's kind of like when Moses parted the Red Sea.
It's exactly what it's like.
Except it's an ugly as sin hag instead of an old Jewish man.